Yeah, so I've read the recommendation. I think the recommendation is spot on, Judge. I think that it's considerate not only of the circumstances.
I know this video just started. We're only 11 seconds in, but I just want to pause it so y'all can read this and see how fucked up this is. So when a marriage fell apart, she allegedly conspired with an inmate to plant drugs in his car and have him arrested. A plan that could have sent him, innocent man, back to prison. So it says to send him back to prison. So I'm guessing he'd been in prison before. That's crazy. All because their marriage fell apart. Keep that in mind.
Of what's led to this, but also of the person who is the byproduct of where we're at today. And talking to Jen, I think I would appreciate the court looking at the person who made that decision in that moment. I think that's important. I think you always have to do that. But I also think it's important in this case to think of and consider the person who sits before you today. In that regard, I asked her, I said, if you could do this over, sometimes this is a dangerous question, but if you could do this over, would you do the same thing? And she says, well, I don't want to say that because it doesn't seem like I'm, sorry about what I did. But at the same time, I probably wouldn't have done some of the things that I'm doing now. This recommendation, Judge, was littered with letters of support. I'm quite sure the court's had a chance to read and review those. I can tell you that in my dealings with Jen, I see a remorseful person. I see someone who has always taken responsibility of this from the sentencing forward. I think that is indicative of this recommendation that is in this pre-sentence investigation report as well. When this happened, Judge, this is a time in Jennifer's life when she wasn't proud of the decision she made. I think people do and say lots of things that they wish they had back in a breakup situation. I know that she's embarrassed. I know that it's affected her. But from accepting this plea agreement and speaking to this court, and beyond that, her conduct since then, I think speaks volumes about who she is going to become as a result of putting herself in a really tough situation. I know that she's been working on her mental health. I think that is evident. I also know that she's been on bond, has not had any other incidents that I'm aware of while she's been on bond by quite some time, since we've been back here several months, in fact, Judge. So I would ask the court to consider the letters of recommendation. I think, again, the recommendation is appropriate. I would ask the court to follow that. And part of it, too, Judge, is that there's a rather lengthy term of probation, which the court's going to impose. And that is yet another opportunity for Jen to not just tell you who she is, but prove who she's become, and that she isn't the person that at least in this incident, she appeared to be on paper. So I would ask that the court follow the recommendation. Thank you.
Right, Ms. Plumhoff, have you had the opportunity to read the report and discuss it with Mr. Shepard?
I have, Your Honor.
Do you have any additions, corrections, or challenges?
I do not.
Anything that you want to say on your own behalf?
Well, I would like to start by apologizing to Nicholas for the hurt and disruption that I caused him, despite I'm not proud of getting to a point where I would hurt somebody that I loved the way that I did him, for breaking our vows and ruining our marriage. I hurt a lot of people that day, that when I chose to make the decision that I did, I hurt a lot of people. And I am truly embarrassed about that and very sorry.
Riddle me this. If a drunk driver crashed into another person's car and killed that other person and he sit there and cry in court, do you think the judge really cares what they say? That's a totally different situation, but what I'm seeing right here is a woman sitting here saying that she's very, very sorry that she set her husband up by planting drugs in his car. So we should all feel very sorry for her because she was going through a hard time in her life. Fuck out of here.
Like he said, I'm not proud of what I did. I am proud of the person that I've become because of these things. being able to turn my life around and turn to faith and get back on the right track. I've worked really, really hard through my therapy, my group therapy, with my church family, just being able to help the community more, things like that. I don't think that these are things that I would have been doing hadn't something like this happened. As awful as it may sound to say, I feel like me hitting rock bottom is something that needed to happen to become who I am. And I'm truly sorry for all of it.
I think Mr. Swanson had a couple of comments to it. Hopefully, yeah.
Right?
Thank you. I've talked to Ms. Bolthoff quite a bit as well. She has been acknowledging her actions. She owned her actions, and everything and every person I've talked to so far reference to it. She owned it to this court as well. We would point out to the court that Ms. Plumhoff, with her consent, she's giving me the impression to tell her that she's now facing some pretty significant medical conditions. She's facing a treatment for potentially breast cancer at this point, and her next appointment is scheduled for October 28th. And she does that further follow-up care package that is going to be required. So she's asking for consider that. We're looking at sentencing here today and consider not imposing a jail sentence, given those circumstances which are unusual of that recent diagnosis. We have the documentation from her doctor here today. Court wanted that documentation as well. She did receive a lot of amazing recommendations from the community. So we asked the court to consider that and look at sentencing here today.
Hello pilots, and welcome back to Sporty's Pilot Shop for another new product checklist. This is where the experts at Sporty's take our top 10 new products from the last month and bring them to you. This is the new.
All right, Ms. Robinson, any additions, corrections, or challenges?
Your Honor, people had OV-19 scored at 10 points. I believe that the conduct here would amount to interfering or attempting to interfere with the administration of justice. My understanding the case law does support that conduct can happen before criminal charges are issued as well. As it has to be a fight. That is the only difference that I saw that I thought needed to be noted.
All right, Mr. Shepherd, Mr. Swanson, want to reply to that?
Sure, Judge. I tend to agree with the scoring that was done, like the Department of Corrections. I see that OV-19 was a 0. I think that's, I wouldn't know why that would change, Your Honor. I certainly understand the question, the context around the question. But from my perspective, I think that the scoring that is appended to the PSI of the recommendation, I think that's a.
All right, well, I look something up on that, and I would turn to you, Mr. Kazal. Let's see the recommendation in the report. Just for 1 day jail, 1 day credit. Is that your recommendation, or is that Lanson's recommendation?
My recommendation was consistent with the agreement, which was a cap at the midpoint of the guidelines, and I recommended 150 days jail. They don't.
All right, so the court is going to leave offense variable 19 scored at 0. Was looking at the criminal sentencing bench book, and although I do note that there are things that can happen pre-charge that could reflect the assurance of justice. But I did find a case that reflected where they're essentially trying to frame someone for a kind of crime would be impacting the ability of the police to investigate a situation. It's not tampering with witnesses. It's not the sort of pre-charge conduct. According to C, and the other cases have scored 10 points. So the court's going to deny that request.
Peter, I'm
All right. So with that,
I apologize. Can I make a statement? Your Honor, we would ask that the court follow along with the recommended or follow along with the plea agreement in this case and allow that plea to stand and sentencing to go forward today. Nicholas Plumhoff is the victim in this case. He is present, but William Cheney would like to make a statement.
so good. Mr. Font, would you come forward, please?
Please make a statement.
Back.
Please make a statement.
Hey, bring up what podium be there. Yeah.
I'm very surprised for the simple fact that they was gonna go forward and not even let this dude even speak. It's crazy to me. It seemed like they was just gonna go straight forward with just the sentence for the woman, I believe. Didn't really care too much about hearing him speak. This would seem like, but that's just my inspection of it. But it just seems like more like, hey, we heard what she said. Let's just go forward. Like, let's hear what this dude had to say. You know what I mean?
All right, Nicholas Plumhoff, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, what is your opportunity, sir?
So it's been a long time. I've been trying to think what I wanted to say when we finally got to this point. And it's just so much more to me than just like trying to get me in trouble. Over the last 5 years, I have worked so hard to get out of the things that I was doing that would be in prison. And for, going back and spending weeks looking at all the messages that went back and forth and how malicious it was. I had one day and made one bad decision. She did this for weeks and weeks. I've read the messages. And for her to say the only thing he cares about is this job at the recovery center, and I want to take it from him. I worked so hard to get away from my background, to have a job where I could help people and make a difference and not be another statistic and not end up back in prison or on the streets. And to just think that someone that said they loved me to just say, or even, I could see her saying it, but weeks and weeks of pushing it, messaging him, well, she was at my house. Now's the time to do it. I know where his car's at now.
Wow.
Like, I don't understand.
So her defense made it seem more like it was just a reaction of like she was upset at that time. She made one bad decision, but there are text messages leading up to it. So this was a plan execution. Like she was playing this dude for weeks, and how he was talking about it is like yeah, his car is outside. Do it now. Come do it now. Come on. Let's get this done. That's crazy. They defense made it seem like it was just kind of like a one day she got up and she did this and it happened that day and that was a bad decision. But no, he's talking about this is weeks. Like she planted this dude to fucking get booked. That is crazy. Yeah, she cooked.
I know what it's like to need to get incarcerated. If I wouldn't have went to prison, I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't have taken the time to get the help that I needed, you know? And I don't think one day in jail is ever going to stop her from doing this to someone else. If it wouldn't have happened the way it would, I might not be here right now. I might be back in prison. I might have ruined my career. I might have lost everything, and no one would have believed me.
Yes, yeah.
If it wasn't for the one that turned in the messages, if it hadn't been documented, no one would have ever known, and I would have been gone. And it's not fair. It's not right that just try to take someone's life in your hands and throw it away because you had a bad day. I would understand if I treated her poorly, if I put my hands on her, if I was mean to the children, none of that effort. And to have someone just want to hurt me like that, I can't imagine being that broken of a soul to want to hurt someone that bad. The first part is I don't hate her. I just want her to get help. For her, for the kids, for whoever she comes in contact in the future. Because the person who did that, she's not where she needs to be. One thing that I guess it probably doesn't matter because it wasn't reported, but just not even a month ago, she was at a restaurant and ran into my niece and threatened to beat her ass in the middle of the restaurant with her children there, in front of everybody. So whatever gains and progress that she's made, she's not where she needs to be yet. And I hope that you guys.
So not only does she try to put this dude in jail, he's saying that she ran into some family members and start threatening that she won't start putting hands on them and stuff. This about to get interesting. This about to get real interesting. Let's see.
Can I help her do that?
Well, a couple of questions, please, sir. How did you meet Ms. Plummer?
We met through my little sister. They were acquaintances.
Okay. I only have limited police report. How do you know how Ms. Plummer came in contact with the person that was incarcerated that you wanted to set you up? She knew that individual?
The way it was explained to me is when me and her got together, she was in a relationship with that person. And when me and her made it official or whatever, she broke it off with him because he's in prison. What is he going to do? All she has to do is not answer the phone. So that was her boyfriend, I guess, up until I had got with her.
Okay. Anything else that you want to say, sir?
I just want to thank the court for whatever it is they're going to do. And hopefully I'll have a peace of mind for a little while because obviously I'm a mess. Like I literally moved 3 hours away to not have to worry about running into her at a store or anywhere, you know what I mean? Because of, I don't know. I worked in Nuevo for a little while in one of the recovery centers that was up here. And going through a drive-through, I had a girl let me know that she was still trying to mess with me and that this was my number and this is where I lived. And so I just don't want to have to worry anymore. I'm a grown man. I shouldn't be crying over what this woman could do to me.
Whoa, man, amazing car. When did you become a millionaire?
What is this for?
We're trying to get advice for the younger generation.
That's a bar. That's a bar, man. He's a grown ass man. He shouldn't be crying over what a woman could be able to do to him. But that's the reality of it. Just her word enough was enough for him to go to jail. Plus the evidence of drugs being in his car was just enough for him to go to jail or get incarcerated. I'm not sure he was in jail or he was about to go. But like he said before, if that text message didn't get put out to the court, curtains. He's cooked. It's his word against hers plus the evidence that was planted in his car. He's cooked. What can he say? What can he possibly say? That's like that's so sad, man. That is so sad. That is so sad. If that didn't get them text messages didn't get put out, this court hearing would never happen. He'd be back in jail. Just or I'm sorry, not jail, prison for how many years? It's crazy. It's just crazy, man. I've never been to prison, never would like to go, never went to jail, never would like to go. But hearing the fucking stories of how bad it is, I'm pretty sure I don't want to end up in there. You know what I mean? Regardless of how hard someone think they are. That's just I don't even know what to say about that, man. Her defense made her story seems like it was just like a one time thing. Like he explained it more in detail. Like this is crazy to me, man. This is crazy.
This is where I lived, and so I just don't want to have to worry anymore. I'm a grown man. I shouldn't be crying over what this woman could do to me. Thank you, sir. All right, the court recognizes the advisory guidelines in this case would suggest a sentence between 0 and 11 months. The courts can exercise my discretion. It's consistent with the advisory guidelines, consistent with the plea agreement in this case. Would be the sentence the court, this defendant served 120 days in the Nuevo County Jail. I'll give her credit for the 1 day that she served so far. I'm going to place her on probation for 2 years. There is a $30 per month probation oversight fee for regular probation, $60 a month for electronic monitoring work tether. On the one hand, I applaud you for the efforts that you've made. Well, maybe those efforts will continue after you're out of jail with your probation. They'll help you change the person that you are. On the other hand, I can't think of anything more vile than what you try to do to that man. Number one, the newest history with addictions, and to try and use that against him. Number two, trying to prevent him from helping other people, trying to engage some other inmate to ruin this man's life. And he's right. If you had any idea how many people come in here with possession of drugs and say they weren't mine, somebody planted on me, everyone, the police, prosecutor, court, you all go, yeah, right. People just don't plant drugs on other people. And that was your plan, as he indicated. It wasn't just a fly-by-night thing. One time, call somebody up, oh no, forget it. It was time after time, and message after message. You actually paid the money, as I understand it, to have this done. I just can't. I mean, really, words don't express how vile those acts are. And you try to separate the acts from the person, but you're the one that did those. And so, luckily, this person that you were corresponding with in jail had integrity and did the right thing to try and jail you. But for that, he probably would have been in jail.
120 days is not enough. I'm sorry, that is not enough. And 2-year probation is not enough. I'm sorry. That's not enough. She needs way more days in jail. Way more than 120. Way more. She needs way more. 180 or 200 should be good enough for this instance. Because Maybe some people feel different. I feel like 120 days is not enough. I'm sorry. It is not enough for me. That's just she plotted that out. Like she even paid. Like the judge even said she paid the guy. So this is not one onesie and done. She paid the guy, planned it out, executed it. Like no, mm that should be way more than that. I'm sorry, because if I'm correct, 120 days is what, like 4 months and like yeah, like 4 months or 17 weeks and something like that in a day or whatever maybe. But that's not enough. That's not enough. 17 weeks in a day is not enough. That's like what, 1/3 of a year? That's not enough at all. Fuck that. 4 months? Really? 4 months in a day. No. Sorry, she need more than that. She need at least about a year or two or more than that, bro. Like that's fucked up. I'm sorry. Maybe some other people got some other things in mind. Maybe some other people think, hey, that's a good enough time or something like that. It's not that deep, but no, she could have ruined this dude's life. And just like the judge said, so many people come to his courtroom saying, "I just got planted on me. That wasn't mine." Da 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 da. And he just said, "Yeah, right. You're a drug addict." That's what everyone says. Off to the curtains. You know what I mean? Back to the lobby. They don't care. They send you back to the goulash, and you just go back to prison or jail. And he said it right there himself. Out of all the situations, if that text message didn't come out, that dude would have been cooked. He would have looked at it as every other case. Everybody's saying they got drugs planted on. Okay, it's a drug fairy out there planting drugs on people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, no, she need more time than that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Probably would have been successful in training. And that's it, excuse me. I don't care how much you hurt you. So
Yeah, that's the end of that video. I I can't explain how much that dude is going through right now. That is crazy. But I see y'all in the next one. Peace.